Hey, how's it going, everyone? I just found another sequence of the end times, and so I'm just going to log this one really quick. It's in Micah chapter 4, and this is an amazing chapter. And so it starts off talking about the kingdom, and then it goes into the specifics of the end times. And so sometimes you have to sort of just understand what it's referring to. It's usually very, very obvious whenever it talks about God ruling and then there being peace on earth and any of those things. Then we know that that's the kingdom, because that's not happening, has never happened on earth, where God has been in control of the entire earth, and then there be peace and blessing and all that. So that's the way it starts, and then at the end it goes into the sequence, and I'll point that out. Micah chapter 4, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, Come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path, for the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. So again, this makes it very, very clear that we're talking about the kingdom and Christ ruling. Verse 3, and he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And so where are all these Hebrews talking about, one nation beating up another and all that kind of stuff? So none of their stuff makes sense. It's so bad and so stupid. So we're told here what the kingdom is going to be like. Nation shall not lift up sword against any nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. They don't need to, because God is the one who is doing all this division and war. He's behind it. And so they're saying he's not going to do that anymore. People can go directly through him and ask questions, and to be the mediator, for any quote unquote disputes. And so that makes sense. Verse 4, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts hath spoken it. That's verse 4:4. That's specifically for the elect. And so they'll finally be at peace. Verse 5, for all people will walk every one in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever. This is also referring to God's elect. And so there's going to be everybody, the mixed multitude, which are from all nations, they report to the 144,000, and they're going to have jurisdiction, be the quote unquote government. And then the 144,000 report to Christ. And then they're going to, like it says here, walk in his name forever and ever. And that's a name that he will give them, and then that's not known right now, no matter what these other Hebrews say. They're just all actors. And so this is told to us again here. And so God's elect, the 144,000, are going to be the government, in the kingdom of heaven. Just know that. And they're going to do what it says here, the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And so they're going to be the enactors of God's laws, making sure that it's honored everywhere. And, just know that. And so, and if they don't, people refuse that, then it says here in verse 3, he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. And so there's still going to be an element of free will. This is the amazing thing that I obviously can't understand what this would be like or visualize it, except what we're told here, and then a little bit beyond it, I guess, but light extrapolations. But people are still going to be, free, and have roles and assign certain things, but still have some amount of freedom, and all that kind of stuff. And so it has to be, because that's God's nature. This system, this beast system, God's left-hand side, is the one who's trying to restrict and constrain and track and monitor and all that. That's not God's right-hand side. Christ is all about freedom, and setting people free with the truth. Just know that. Verse 6, in that day saith the Lord, and I will assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted. What's up with all those people? All this, God's not behind evil, really? We're told that again here, and that's in verse 6. That's number 6 is about judgment. I'll read that again. And her that I have afflicted. So God is pruning and punishing people. Verse 7, and I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation, and the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth ever and ever. And so her that was cast far off. And so anybody, if you're rejected or whatever, just know that you're probably in good standing with God. That's a good thing. God is going to collect his people, his elect, that are in all nations, and then they're going to be the government, the kingdom of heaven. That's an amazing thing. And so if you're an outcast and, you're hated by this current system, that's a good thing. Pat yourself on the back. Verse 8, and now, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, until thee shall it come, even the first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. And so this is all designed for God's elect. Verse 9, now why dost thou cry out aloud? Is there no king in thee? Is thy counselor perished? For pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail. Verse 10, this is now where the sequence begins. And again, just a reminder, it's Christ returning. It's Christ returning to save his elect and, quote, my people. Then there's a period of plagues. America is destroyed. Then a battle in the Middle East where everybody on God's left-hand side is destroyed and they have the mark of the beast, and then the kingdom established. And so to some, this is slightly in reverse order because it talks about the kingdom first, and that's very obvious that that is it, because that's consistent with language everywhere else. That refers to the kingdom and some amount of still free will, but Christ at the head, and then the 144, and then, that kind of thing, and then people gathering, to Jerusalem to worship God, who will now dwell amongst men and all that. So that's completely consistent. And now it's also consistent about what's going to get people, all of us, to that place. Verse 10, be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. And so we're being told here that it's a process. It's like you go out of the city, then you're kind of in the field. You're like a vagabond. God's people are being pushed out, and now they're spread, and then a concentration of them are here in Babylon, which is modern day America. And so it took time, it's a process. And so this is the final place of deliverance, though. And that's what we're told here. I'll read that again. And thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There thou shalt be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thy enemies. And so the earth is given to the hands of the wicked, and so just know that. And so that's the times that we live in now. And so first thing is deliverance. And so check, first thing in the sequence, always there. Now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. This is talking about now all these other nations now are going to destroy America. And so they're going to be like literally arrayed and gathered against America, burn it and destroy it. And so next, check, let her be defiled. And now they're saying, let our eye look upon Zion. And so now they're going to direct their attention to the Middle East, where Christ is going to return with his elect, and we're told that here. And so now that they've done destroying America and burning it, now they focus their attention on Christ returning with his elect to have the final battle in Armageddon. Verse 12, but they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand they his counsel, for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. So they don't understand that God's just getting ready to kill all of them. And so it's going to be a speedy riddance, like the Bible says. Verse 13, arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion. This is God's elect. For I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hooves brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people. And I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. And so this is Christ returning with his elect, and he's saying, destroy them, and so and it's going to, like it says here, thou shalt beat in pieces many people. So how can that be referring to the kingdom when we're told earlier that, nation shall not lift us up a sword against another nation? And so these Hebrews are just animals. They do not understand the Bible at all. And so, just know that this is the process that's going to get to the kingdom, to get to that place where it says here, consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. And so this is what's needed. The entire left-hand side has to be destroyed and killed and deleted in order for Christ to be able to set up his kingdom with the mixed multitude being of all nations, and then the elect ruling over them, and then Christ ruling over everybody. And so just know that. And so again, not a shocker here. This is the exact same sequence. And so, this is founded here in Micah. And, I'll just keep looking, I guess, wherever I come across anything related to the end times, or if anybody out there has any chapter or verses that they know that they're certain talk about the end times, either I can do it or you could try it yourself, and you'll find that it's the exact same sequence every single time. It's always Christ delivering his elect. It's always a period of plagues and then America being destroyed. And it's always Christ returning with his elect, and then they're going to destroy everybody. And so they're being told here that their weapons, I'll make thine horn iron, and I'll make thy hooves brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people. And so this is when Christ's elect are killing, but it's only everybody on God's left-hand side, and they have the mark of the beast. And so it's a righteous judgment, and then God is the one who's orchestrating this and allowing it to establish his kingdom over the whole earth. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye.